Episode 56 XD, August 20th, 2024. Burning Man contends with unusually slow ticket sales. In Episode 56 XFD1 United States. Introduction with analogies. As individual human beings, we all have individual human stories for why we took a stand and defended the rights of ourselves and others. Yesterday, I was surprised to learn that our current vice president literally stood up between a bully and her friend. 2 United States. Inside Climate News newsletter. Harris stirs hope for a new chapter in climate action. 3A United States. National Public Radio. Burning Man contends with unusually slow ticket sales. 3B United States. CBS News. Burning Man tickets haven't sold out for the first time since 2011. Here's why. 4 New Jersey 5 New York 6 North Carolina 7 Washington 8 Canada 9 New Zealand 10 United Kingdom. Main content. 1 United States. Introduction with analogies. As individual human beings, we all have individual human stories for why we took a stand and defended the rights of ourselves and others. Yesterday, I was surprised to learn that our current vice president literally stood up between a bully and her friend. The current vice president stood up for that early childhood friend whose pottery artwork was shattered by a boy who tossed it to the ground for no reason except perhaps malice. What our current vice president received in return for her peaceful advocacy was a rock to the forehead for which she still bears a scar. Last night, I also heard the familiar but compelling story from the current president about his son who was exposed to military burn pit smoke for approximately only 1 year and died, the president believes, from that air pollution exposure. This led the current president to lend his support to a law that compensates the surviving spouses and surviving children for loss of each family member exposed in this way to military burn pit air pollution exposure. And the president saw that the air pollution exposure that those who are called fenceline residents and frontline residents, who are ordinary United States residents simply residing in their own homes in close proximity to unnecessary, virtually unregulated air pollution from industries in places like Louisiana, experience adverse health effects, which result in the same unnecessary loss of life as from military burn pits. Part 1. The air pollution problem. Part 1A. It should go without saying, but I am saying it here, that Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates stands up between the bully and the friend. This 501c3 RAWSEpresidents organization stands up between the indoor residential wood burner bully whose unnecessary wood smoke emissions of PM2.5 enters the yards of near neighbors and sickens them. The friend who, as a near neighbor, is exposed to unnecessary PM2.5 wood burning emissions air pollution is today also experiencing PM2.5 and CO2 pollution from wildfire wood smoke on a periodic basis in the United States. What does the bully continue to do? The bully continues to burn wood indoors residentially in the periods when he or she is allowed to by law, when the wood burning restrictions are lifted, when the wildfire smoke has died down temporarily. Did the boy who shattered the pottery artwork and then attacked the current vice president choose to be destructive? Did the military system which made burn pits a part of military life, inflicting friendly fire on its own troops, choose to be destructive? Do the indoor residential wood burners who take up the slack of air pollution when air quality alerts die down know that wood burning is air polluting in a way that creates cancer, asthma, and early deaths for those in the vicinity and still choose to be destructive? Education is the first step, but those who are exposed to education and continue to burn wood can be assumed to not care about the health threat they are imposing on their near neighbors. What is the second step? Measure the pollution. That is easily done with PurpleAir PM2.5 monitors hung from the eaves of the houses of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. What is the third step? Pass laws, either federal, state, or local laws, that shut down indoor residential wood burners whose air pollution PM2.5 exceeds national ambient air quality standards, NAAQS, or the World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually. What is the fourth step? Enforce the laws. What stands in the way of shutting down indoor residential wood burning? Part 2. The bully. 2A. The first excuse. There is a stumbling block to educating the public to begin with. There is an international agreement based on the scientifically debunked theory of carbon neutrality of wood burning. This scientifically debunked theory posits that if a tree is planted in the place of a cut-down burn tree, that eventually that newly planted tree will perform photosynthesis at the rate that the cut-down tree was performing it. Photosynthesis exchanges carbon in the form of CO2 in the air around the tree for oxygen that a mature tree emits. But it takes decades or centuries for a tree to attain the stature and ability to perform photosynthesis at the same rate as the cut-down burn tree. In the meantime, the PM2.5 and CO2 of tree wood burning is continuing unabated. And even if eventually CO2 is absorbed by a mature tree, the fact is that trees do not absorb PM2.5, and it is shown in a recent scientific study that trees close their pores against PM2.5 in a wildfire setting, recognizing PM2.5 as a toxin to trees. For the sake of continuing education, humans must learn wood burning emits 90% PM2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. The first solution is for that international agreement to become void and for all countries in the world to acknowledge that wood burning is not carbon neutral, but acknowledge that replacing coal burning with wood burning only brings us closer and faster to climate change, and in the process pollutes our air, causing many unnecessary early deaths. Right now, by using the argument of the scientifically debunked theory of carbon neutrality of wood burning, countries around the world do not count wood burning emissions, so that it looks like a country is meeting its climate goals on paper, while in reality making climate change more certain by burning wood. 2B. The second excuse. Indoor residential wood burners may say they are indigent, and that burning wood is the only way an indigent person can heat his or her home. The second solution is the up to $8,000 rebate for heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero and double as air conditioners. The up to $8,000 rebate is based on a sliding income scale so that the most indigent receive the entire $8,000 rebate, which in many cases means that a resident may receive a clean energy heat pump that lowers monthly electric bills immediately at almost no cost. 2 United States. Inside Climate News newsletter. Harris stirs hope for a new chapter in climate action. Although expected to follow in Biden's pragmatic footsteps, her record as a prosecutor and voice for justice has environmentalists looking to the future. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. August 18, 2024. Although President Joe Biden already has cemented an unmatched legacy of climate change action, Vice President Kamala Harris raised the bar the moment that she entered the presidential race on July 21st. Those who care about the climate are now considering new possibilities based on Harris's past actions. Close observers of environmental politics expect a Harris presidency to follow closely in the footsteps of the Biden presidency, setting ambitious goals to reduce climate pollution, but using carrots more than sticks to hasten a clean energy transition. The most visible immediate difference between Biden and Harris may be in their ability to communicate the benefits of the more than $500 billion the current administration has directed toward clean energy. At the June presidential debate, when Trump called that spinning a green new scam that is driving inflation, Biden flailed with his rejoinder: "If we reach for 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, well, there is no way back." In contrast, Harris's rhetoric on the administration's climate program honed over the past year and travels at home and abroad focuses on individual success stories and here and now benefits, much as Biden sought to do in his successful 2020 Build Back Better campaign. "When we invest in climate, we create jobs, we lower costs, and we invest in families," Harris said at an April event in North Carolina. 3A United States. National Public Radio. Burning Man contends with unusually slow ticket sales. RAWSEPresidentsview. One hopes that the decline in interest in Burning Man stems only from distaste for the title of the event. Why should wood burning be celebrated, or worse, celebrated in a large-scale event that pollutes the air and devastates the desert itself? The reasons given in this article, however, are that the weather conditions of excessive rain in 2023 and temperatures raised above 100 degrees Fahrenheit in 2002. Does the imagination of Burning Man event goers extend to connecting the dots of their wood-burning air pollution to increasingly fast climate change? Burning Man attendees give the excuse that they are being creative by burning wood among other planet-harming practices like driving gas-fueled vehicles off-road in the desert. Humans can be creative without being destructive, and that creative non-destructive art can be the most beautiful and lasting of all attempts at creativity. Create, do not destroy is not the motto of Burning Man. It is time to retire this tired old festival. Maybe the public is waking up, or at least people who are not rich enough to have disposable income that disposes of any conscience about polluting the earth and threatening the health of their fellow human beings could be waking up. Or, as the article below states, the economic cost may be too high, although the environmental cost is ignored by attendees. The human health cost of wood burning is also obviously ignored by attendees. Can we make burner a pejorative word applied to each individual rich bully, or should this simply be labeled a destructive practice that is legislated out of existence for the good of human health? Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. August 17, 2024. Heard on All Things Considered. Thousands of revelers were stuck in the mud for days last year. The Burning Man festival typically draws a sellout crowd of at least 70,000 revelers. But this year, the sprawling cultural event, which takes place over a week starting in late August, is facing an unusual drop in demand. For the first time since the festival started selling out in 2011, the organizers are offering tickets to last-minute buyers without requiring pre-registration. Also, the resale market is flooded. On sites like StubHub and SeatGeek, customers can currently get their hands on a ticket for less than half of the regular price. Festival organizers are saying the spontaneous ticket offering is intentional. In an email to NPR, Burning Man spokeswoman said the festival came up with the instant gratification option in response to the global trend for last-minute ticket buying. A Hudson Valley, New York-based burner blames the record-breaking heat of 2022, followed by the mudbath-inducing rains of 2023, for putting people off in 2024. "It takes so much work to get there, and all your things get drenched and ruined." Burning Man's sluggish sales may equally be a result of potential attendees feeling like they can't afford to attend. Festival demographic data shows a big increase over the past decade in attendees with personal incomes of $100,000 to $300,000 and a steep decrease in those who earn less than $50,000. Many of those high-earning burners work in tech and industry, which has been beset with layoffs lately, which could partly explain the drop in ticket sales. The event is expensive. A standard ticket in 2024 costs $575. There are additional expenses ranging from parking and camp fees to RV rental and flights. A 2023 BBC report included attendees who said they spent up to $8,000 to attend Burning Man. 3B United States. CBS News. Burning Man tickets haven't sold out for the first time since 2011. Here's why. Money Watch. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. August 19, 2024. CBS News. Burning Man's allure appears to be fading with festival goers as tickets are still available ahead of its August 25th kickoff. It's the first time since 2011 that the event hasn't sold out long before its opening day. Bad weather at the desert event during the past 2 years appears to be slowing Burning Man ticket sales for this year's festival, which runs from August 25th to September 2nd. After Burning Man attendees endured extreme heat in 2022, followed by heavy rain and muddy conditions in 2023, many would-be burners, as festival attendees are called, are staying home this year. For New Jersey. Wildfire smoke makes for dangerous air pollution. NJ Spotlight News. All wildfire smoke is different and depends on the nature of the wood burned, the scale of the fire, the distance smoke travels, and whether 5 New York Rockland Matzo bakeries. RAWSEP view is that stopping PM2.5 emissions from wood burning is a common sense measure which is not only sane but humane to protect human health that went into effect recently in New York. This law was not targeting a religious group unless wood-fired pizzerias, rather than clean energy electric stove pizzerias, are holy shrines, which they are not. This law would protect families from continuing to expose their loved ones to unnecessary air pollution at the same time as this law will protect the near neighbors of indoor wood burners from health-harming wood-burning PM2.5 emissions. If choosing clean air over polluted air seems forced, perhaps it is time to examine the level of selfishness from which you are operating in the world and improve your character by refraining from polluting our common air. From the article, Senator Weber co-sponsors bill after NYC regulation targeting matzah bakeries takes effect. Rockland daily smoke pollutants by 75% to be able to bake matzah for the 2025 Passover. The DEP's claim that wood burning or coal stoves are the largest NYC regulation targeting matzah bakeries takes effect from news.com. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. August 1st, 2024. New York's controversial environmental regulation and decree targeting all the From Community's kosher matzah bakeries and an estimated 130 city pizzerias has gone into effect. A nearly identical bipartisan bill to stop this insane regulation which was forced upon us is in committee in the New York State Senate, proposed by New York State Senator Bill Weber, R38, who proudly represents the Coahuila and Monzy and Rockland County, and New York State Senator Jessica Scarcella, Spanton, a friend and ally to the Jewish community. 6. North Carolina. Reminder, DQ to give update today on fine particle air pollution in North Carolina. NC Dec NC. Gov Live, Spanish interpretation will be available during the webinar. Webinar, North Carolina Fine Particulate Matter, PM2.5, update when? 6 to 7:30 p.m. Department of Environmental Quality gives updates on fine particle air pollution. Mountain Express fine particulate matter, or PM2.5, is any extremely small particle emitted by man-made, cars, industry fires, and natural wildfires, plants, animals. 7. Washington Wenatchee. RAWSEP view: just do not burn wood. Moist or dry wood still emits 2.8 times the CO2 and PM2.5 than coal burning. From the article headline, Interest growing for meeting after Pioneer Fire, is contained News Radio 560 KPQ. Wood. Seasoned wood is important to use because wood that still has a higher moisture content will burn poorly and produce excessive smoke. Fireplace safety: flammable objects. Tip number 1. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet from your fireplace or wood stove. 8. Canada, Alberta. RAWSEP view: just do not burn wood. Moist or dry wood still emits 2.8 times the CO2 and PM2.5 than coal burning. Grande Prairie Forest Area Wildfire Update, August 18, 2024. The Alberta Wildfire Blog. Government of Alberta. To find out more about where the smoke is coming from, visit firesmoke.ca. Safe wood campfires within fire rings and campgrounds are allowed. 9. New Zealand. Onehunga Waste Facility fire sends smoke billowing into Auckland sky, threatening. MSNA Fire and Emergency spokesperson said crews were alerted to a well-involved fire in Onehunga just after 1 p.m. A large wood chip pile is on fire. 10A. United Kingdom, Birmingham. UK households with a wood burner face £300 fines in 2024 Birmingham live smoke. You could be fined up to £1,000 if you burn unauthorized fuel. The new laws governing wood-burning stoves were introduced in a bid to burn unauthorized fuel without an exempt appliance. Why were the laws introduced? 10B. United Kingdom, Leicester. New government rules on wood-burning stoves with £300 fines in 2024 Leicestershire Live. Leicester Mercury. You can only be fined for using a wood-burning stove if you do not follow the proper legislation. For example, if you burn the incorrect fuel.